1% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get pumped, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in a Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the Hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters don't move, whatever click you choose.
My video today is brought to you by the Swing Low Podcast. Y'all definitely be sure to tap in with that show. It's a great show. He got a lot of content. I definitely suggest you check it out. Binge watch a lot of his older content. He got a lot of great topics, a lot of knowledge, information, extremely entertaining, man. So once again, be sure to go check that out. The Swing Low Podcast. Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to Life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down! For those of y'all that's new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. Yeah, that's me gassing on the intro. Like I keep telling y'all, the flow is nothing like Curtis Blow. Hey, man, listen, if you want that song, it's available, but right now only on CD, man. So get at your boy, man. This CD right here, it got 10 songs on there. Both versions of that intro still stepping. Hey, I'm telling you, tap in with your boy. You can hit me on Instagram at 16DALIFE 16 to Life, or you can email me at 16tolifemusic@gmail.com. Cash at me $20 that'll take care of shipping and handling. I get this CD out to you. I'm telling you, man, this CD is banging. And with that being said, we're gonna hop right up into this video, man. So this video is in a response to a video that Dubs made the other day. Shout out to Dubs. Dubs was asking, do 50-50 yards even apply to blacks due to the way that they politic? First and foremost, I think it's important for me to say that by no way am I a voice or trying to be a voice or be a spokesman for the blacks who do time in California. We know that there are very many different cars and entities, from Crips, Bloods, non-affiliates. You got your Up North 415 Kumi. You got your Northern Crip car. You know, it's just so many different structures within the black population who do time in California, right? So I'm just speaking from my experience, right? Giving you guys my opinion. One thing I think that Dubs failed to mention that was important, at one point in time, you had unofficial 50-50 yards, and then you had official 50-50 yards. And so I'll get into that in a minute. For those who don't know, I'm going to give you a quick explanation of a 50-50 yard. And I may not even be 100% correct, because a 50-50 yard is something that was implemented a year or two after I left. I had seen some paperwork being submitted on that or being circulated, but it was something that was actually put into practice after I left. So to my understanding, a 50-50 yard came about because in the California Department of Corrections, there were so many SNYs, which stands for sensitive need yard prisoners, or quote unquote PC, protective custody, that at some point in time, the California Department of Corrections decided, okay, we're going to put all these dudes on one yard. You know, 50% of the yard is going to be former protective custodies, and the other is going to be general population. We are no longer going to house convicts on their security threat group needs or their need to be protected. We're going to house them now on their case factor, programming, and educational needs. So to my understanding, they were going to turn all 1 yards and 2 yards into 50-50 yards, or programming yards. If you refuse to program on a yard with individuals who at one time were considered sensitive needs, then you was going to be on a non-designated programming yard, or a 3 yard, or a 4 yard, right? And so with that being said, now, when I first got to prison in 96, to my understanding, there were no yards that blacks could not go to outside of a yard that was officially declared a sensitive need, or excuse me, officially declared, because at that time the terminology sensitive needs yards, I don't believe, was being used. So we couldn't go to any yard that was officially declared a protective custody yard. Now the difference in my understanding with different organizations and other races, because I think also it's fair to mention that other organizations and races, they have a collective group of men who make certain rules that's blanket policies for all those who fall under their affiliation or organization. Now, for the blacks, we don't have individuals who gonna make rules that pertain and apply to every single black who fall up under that structure. So a lot of times with the blacks, it's what's going on with your respective car and collective at that particular yard that you're on, and who basically is, influential in that particular structure that you're functioning with. Now, so to my understanding, right, there came a time when California Department of Corrections may send a number of individuals who are considered undesirable with the collective they at once functioned with, right? So they may send a certain amount to a certain yard or a certain prison, and you'll have that particular organization or people who are influential with that organization say, okay, due to these dudes being here and they're undesirable, we are no longer going to that prison. Even though the prison is a general population prison, they will make the declaration that if you go to that yard and you stay there over maybe 48 hours or 72 hours or however long the curfew is, you are also considered no good, undesirable, so on and so forth, right? That's what an unofficial 50-50 yard is. Now, to my knowledge, the blacks never had anything like that, right? And so that's why when Dubs mentioned that the administration didn't care, they would still continue to send individuals to yards like that, because in their eyes, those yards were still general population yards. It reminds me of a conversation I had seen one time between a dude who I guess would have been considered a no longer active northerner who had came to CMC East, and he had chose to stay past the allotted time. And so we were working in the hospital together. He happened to ask a guard, why would the administration send northerners and southerners to CMC East when they knew that it was against their policy to go there? And so the officer, his reply basically was that this prison is still a general population prison. And so the prison is not going to let convicts, inmates, prisoners, whatever terminology you want to use, dictate what yard, prison they will go to. So if you guys choose not to come here for whatever reason, then that's among you guys, because the prison is not going to listen. Even back when they had general population and protective custody, SNY, whatever, if you are deemed general population, the prison administration was not going to send you to an SNY yard, without you wanting to go there or asking to be there, so on and so forth. So if they happen to send you to a yard that your collective say, we're not going to that yard, then that was something that was going to be resolved within those who function within your collective. And so that's my definition of unofficial 50-50 yards back in the day, or unofficial protective custody yards, or whatever that some organizations had. Case in point, also, for quite some time, CMC East was a undesirable yard for Southern Hispanics, Northerners, and Mexicans. Asians, blacks, and Pisces, we had no blanket policy saying that we couldn't go there because the yard was a general population yard, right? So I was there many years. I would see Southern Mexicans come there, and if they still wanted to be deemed in good standings, they had 48 hours when they got there and was released from the reception cell to come to the yard and leave by way of violence or attacking somebody, right? And so this went on for a long, long time. Now, suddenly around 2016, 2017, when they started releasing all those who had indeterminate sentences from Pelican Bay after the end all hostilities agreement came into play, they sent an individual there who obviously had a tremendous amount of juice with the Southsiders. And so once he got there, and he came to the yard, he declared the yard a good yard. And from that point forward, the Southern Mexicans who came there, even though they had heard that the yard was no good, once it was made clear that this individual who had, I guess, a tremendous amount of ranking declared the yard good, they started to stay. And so this is something that I witnessed and seen with my own eyes. And then later on, you had a riot. And when I say in my rap, I knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5.
Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5.
That's who I'm talking about. He ended up losing his life in that riot. I'll go deeper into that in another story, right? But so I say that to say this individual, he had the juice to come down and suddenly declare a yard that had once been declared no good in the eyes of Southern Mexicans. He had the juice to now change that decree and say, this is a good yard, right? And so, now, of course, you had a lot of Mexicans on the yard, Southern Mexicans or Southern Mexicans who were deemed no good because they had chose to stay. They pointed out the hypocrisy of when he came to the yard, instead of going out there and leaving by way of violence like all those before him, if they wanted to be considered in good standings, he chose to make the yard a good yard, right? So he could stay there and do whatever he wanted to do, right? And so, did they have a point? I definitely believe they did, but that is, I guess what you're able to do when you have a certain amount of juice, right? And so when individuals see the hypocrisy or the contradictions in certain policies, or they see what they feel is favoritism for certain individuals, sometimes that's what starts making individuals tend to become disenchanted with whatever collective they chose to hang with, and maybe they back up, I don't know, right? So once again, the blacks, we had no blanket policies that governed and dictated what we done as a whole, especially on yards that was deemed general population yards by the California Department of Corrections, right? With that being said, I definitely believe it's an expectation, even of those who have never went to prison and don't plan on going on prison. It's an expectation that the convicts, when they go to prison, they do time and serve their time among those who are considered acceptable convicts, or those who have committed what's acceptable crimes by the other convict population. You do have many blacks who are not going to do time on those yards, 1 yard, 2 yards with quote unquote undesirables, or those who were formerly housed on protective custody yards. And honestly, I think with the blacks, it may come down to the ideology of the individual, if he's willing to do time with those who may be accused of certain undesirable crimes. I do believe also, if you have Crips, Bloods, especially Crips, Bloods, maybe not necessarily non-affiliates, but if you have Crips and Bloods, right, on those yards that are considered 50-50 yards, if they happen to get in some trouble for whatever reason and then be sent and move to a level 3 or a level 4, a yard that's not 50-50, will they encounter problems from their respective collective? I definitely believe they will, if they're Crips or they're Bloods, because not every individual is going to, I guess, overlook the fact that he is around undesirables, right? But we got to keep it 100, right? So when you leave that yard by way of violence, you get a lot of time, or you get extra time added to your sentence. Yesterday I was looking up 50-50 yards, and it took me to Reddit, and I seen some comments, and if you go through there, you'll read the comments where a dude was saying that he had a white homeboy who got sent to a 50-50 yard. He continued to take off on dudes over and over to get removed from the yard, and he got a few more years added to his sentence. To keep it 100, everybody is not willing to do that, especially among the blacks, when, keep in mind, all the blacks from Southern California and all the blacks from Northern California, for that matter, do not fall under the same structure, right? So you have less individuals being concerned about looking good in the eyes of individuals that don't function with them or as they do or whatever. I definitely believe, though, that if you have individuals from the 50-50 yard, and especially their gang members, they go to the level 3s and level 4s, I definitely feel that they will be ran off by their collective. But like I said, it all comes down to the feelings of those individuals who function with those collectives, right? So in essence, to answer the question, do blacks have 50-50 yards? My answer would be yes, because it does matter to those who it matters to. It's not like it's just blacks be like, okay, well, forget it, since we don't program like the Hispanics or the whites, it's acceptable to go to a 50-50 yard. So in my opinion, the answer on that is no, it's not acceptable. But do you have some who do it? Yes, you do have some who do it. You do have some that's not willing and that is not going to have more time added onto their sentence. And then you have some who feel that, okay, so we don't function with the Mexicans and the whites anyway. So if you have undesirable Mexicans or whites on 50-50 yards, we don't function with them on general population yards. We're not on the same side of the day room with them. We don't share showers with them, so on and so forth. So once again, it all comes down to the ideology of the individual. But by me being black, of course, like I say, I don't speak for all the blacks who do time in the California Department of Corrections, and actually me myself also, I'm interested and curious to hear what other blacks may have to say on this matter. Anyway though, man, listen, like I tell y'all, man, if you ain't got no CD player, hey, you better go track you one down, man. This thing bumps so hard, man. I'm damn near willing to give back money back guarantee on this, man. 10 songs deep, both versions of that intro. I'm telling you, man, I gas. Oh, hey, listen, also, man, y'all definitely be sure to go check out the Swang Low podcast, man. It's a good show. He has a lot of good information on there on various topics, and it's something definitely worthy of checking out, man. Hopefully I'm gonna get with him soon, try to interview him, have him on my channel. But until then, y'all go check out the Swang Low podcast, man. It's your boy. Resume normal program.
They saying cause these cowards ain't playing fair. They shoot at you, you shoot at them, they snitch, and they don't care. Fuck gang banging, I'd rather be a square. Yeah.
I swear to God, the game is cold,
What
homie.
you mean?
I popped on a pussy ass nigga after he stole on me.
What happened next?
That nigga came to court and told on me.
Put that on something.
I sold my soul, homie. Called the highway patrol on me, plus the sheriffs and cops. He told him my name was Eric and I carried a Glock. Soon as you start blowing shots, them niggas going to tail. Don't have a meeting with the cops and then you going to jail. They'll tell him about the shooting, take him, show him his well. DA trying to see your cash, they gon' throw him the nails. They wanna throw me up in the cell and have me with a L again. Back to strip searchers and guards, read my mail again. Had me far away in the bay, I'm talking Pelican. Eating cold ass soy burgers and warm gelatin. I'm far too intelligent to fall for that twice. Niggas yelling gang gang and ain't about that life. And they'll turn rat right in front of your face. Get you found guilty plus 100 years on the case. Your mama in the court with tears running all on her face. Her baby shackled feet, hands and waist.
Goddamn.
These niggas ain't who they say they is, so beware. Fuck what they saying, cause these cowards ain't playing fair. They shoot at you, you shoot at them, they snitch, and they don't care. Fuck gang banging, I'd rather be a square. These niggas ain't who they say they is, so beware. Fuck what they saying, cause these cowards ain't playing fair. They shoot at you, you shoot at them, they snitch, and they don't care. Fuck gang banging, I'd rather be a square. Yeah.
Doing life's no joke, I been where the apes been. You ain't really bout that smoke, you a vape pen. Soon as they catch a joke, in the feds on a state pen. That tough guy shit get shed quick like snake skin. Real and fake men can't exist together. I stay down, you turn snitch, so you a bitch forever. Imagine me snitch never, boy, I stuck to the code. You hit the county for a month, you said fucking and told. Soon as you heard your bitch Nicole was fucking all of your best friend. The news damn they killed you, nigga, caved your chest in. You told about the murders that y'all did on the West End. Who was popping the burners and the one who said lesbian. Cooperated then, signed an affidavit. Felt your life was over, nigga, you was trying to save it. So you told on Antoine, LeBron, Marcus, and David. Came home and half your hood forgave it. Goddamn.
These niggas ain't who they say they is, so beware. Fuck what they saying, cause these cowards ain't playing fair. They shoot at you, you shoot at them, they snitch, and they don't care. Fuck gang banging, I'd rather be a square. These niggas ain't who they say they is, so beware. Fuck what they saying, cause these cowards ain't playing fair. They shoot at you, you shoot at them, they snitch, and they don't care. Fuck gang banging, I'd rather be a square. Yeah.